One of the biggest topics in all of WWE going into the summer months is the contract status of Daniel Bryan. Depending on who you talk to, there are people who have been very pleased with the way WWE has booked Daniel Bryan, giving us these dream matches early on in his return after a 4-year hiatus. The likes of AJ Styles after WrestleMania, the likes of Samoa Joe, Rusev, and many others to come. We've even gotten to a point where WWE now has reunited Daniel Bryan with his former tag team partner in Kane to reform the beloved team, again, depending on who you talk to, Team Hell No. We all know Daniel Bryan should be in a position of vying for the WWE Championship. There are definitely factors that go along with why he is not there. A, he's got to work his way back. The landscape of WWE has changed ever since he was forced to retire from in-ring competition. B, WWE is looking to take care of Daniel Bryan, and they want to make sure that they can trust him without getting seriously injured again. And probably the most important thing out of all of these options is the contract status of Daniel Bryan being up on September 1st and the likelihood of him not signing. Daniel Bryan has made WWE very aware that if they do not give him what he wants, if they don't give him what he deserves, if they don't treat his return as something that he wants it to be, he's gone. And there is plenty of work for Daniel Bryan to go out and get. And I'm sure the line will be lined up and formed before he even blinks when his contract is up to take him away from WWE. The biggest thing is the contract. Nobody knows what WWE is going to offer Daniel Bryan. Nobody knows if Daniel Bryan wants to stay or if he wants to go. From what we know and the information that we've gathered as a community, Daniel Bryan stated on several different podcasts that he wants to stay with the WWE. He wants to wrestle for the WWE. And the likelihood of that happening is certainly up there. Because you got to think to who Daniel Bryan is and what WWE has done for Daniel Bryan in his absence. They gave him a job. They gave him an on-air role. He met his wife through WWE. And everybody has been so supportive of Daniel Bryan getting back to the ring. WWE has gone to the lengths to get this man back in the ring on their television program. Why would you want to step away from that? Why would Daniel Bryan just show everybody how unloyal he really is? To a normal guy looking at that situation, you would probably stay with the WWE based on what they've done to you up until this point, no matter the role they give you on television. But the guy wants to wrestle. The guy knows better than anybody what he is fully capable of and how he feels. We as a community want to see Daniel Bryan achieve the heights of WrestleMania 30 once again. We know that there's a lot left in Daniel Bryan, not only from what he can do in an in-ring perspective, but there's a lot that this guy wants to achieve for himself. There's a lot that this guy has been just contemplating over the last 4 years. What could have been? What if Daniel Bryan never got hurt? What type of title run would he have? How many times a world champion would he be? Where would he be? Would he be the face of the company like everybody thinks he is and could be? WWE would be smart to offer Daniel Bryan whatever he wants. They would be foolish not to push this guy as the face of the company no matter what. I think Daniel Bryan, in the months that he's been back, has proven what he is still capable of and what he could do for WWE. There have been several reports of everything that I just mentioned, and then there are reports like this from PW Insider, which is a trusted source, but you never know what someone is actually thinking the time that they write this shit and where they're getting their information from. Everything I'm about to read to you, to me, doesn't really make sense whatsoever. It really doesn't make sense. Now, the report goes on to say, and it starts off by comparing the title situations on Raw and SmackDown. We got AJ Styles on SmackDown, we got Brock Lesnar on Monday Night Raw. One's a ghost, the other one is well respected. SmackDown Live has seen AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in a very underwhelming feud that WWE clearly mishandled. Monday Night Raw, they're holding the title on Brock Lesnar because all they do is think of Roman. They do it for Roman. And they're keeping the title on Lesnar for Roman because the title on Lesnar, apparently, to everybody on Monday Night Raw is such a big deal that when Reigns finally does it, it's going to make him some type of mythical god. But those people are fucking delusional fucks, and they don't have a single fucking clue as to what we want, and not a single fucking clue as to how to book their show. There is still a lot more. There is still a lot more than what we've seen on the Red brand, as fans are desperate to see Brock Lesnar drop the Universal Championship. As things stand, it looks like Lashley and Reigns are in the mix. Braun Strowman could cash in his Money in the Bank contract at SummerSlam. We don't know. If you guys listened to part 1 of this weekend's show, you will have heard how laughable Vince McMahon's new plan is for Roman Reigns. On SmackDown Live, AJ Styles will be defending the title against Rusev. And we all have hopes of AJ Styles moving on from Rusev and defending the title in a major match at SummerSlam against Samoa Joe. There are even advertisements for Styles and Joe inside Hell in a Cell come September, which follows SummerSlam. However, one name that fans shouldn't expect to see in the title picture anytime soon is that of Daniel Bryan. Since his comeback, Bryan has been in a tag team match at WrestleMania 34, while other feuds have been opposite Big Cass and now the Bludgeon Brothers as he teams up with Kane to reform Team Hell No. Mike Johnson of PW Insider has revealed what role Bryan will be playing moving forward. Johnson has claimed that WWE is going to be protecting Bryan by placing him in shorter matches, and fans shouldn't expect the 45-minute American Dragon classics in WWE anymore. Not only that, but he too has speculated alongside the likes of the Wrestling Observer and PW Stream that Bryan isn't getting a huge title push in WWE because he hasn't signed a new deal with the company. Now, right out of the gate, this is fucking bullshit. This is complete fucking bullshit. We shouldn't be expecting 45-minute classics anymore. So, what does that mean? Does that mean that Mike Johnson's reporting is full of shit? Or is it that WWE's hot and cold with a certain performer is just ringing true again? You know, we may not be seeing now the 45-minute American Dragon classics that we know the guy still fucking has in him, but that didn't stop WWE from putting this guy in the greatest Royal Rumble for over a fucking hour when his chest, by the end of that fucking thing, looked like a pound of ground meat that you would buy in the fucking meat aisle at your local supermarket. It didn't stop WWE from putting this guy in a gauntlet match with Big E and Samoa Joe of two fucking guys on the roster. I don't understand the logic here. I really don't understand the logic here. They don't want to put him in 45-minute fucking classics, but they're not afraid to put this guy in the ring for over a fucking hour, risking injury in a battle royal with a ton of other fucking guys. What sense does that make? Whose fault is that? Is that Mike Johnson not knowing what he's reporting? Is he getting false information? Or is this WWE proving to be illogical again. My guess would be the second fucking thing. WWE can't put this guy in a Greatest Royal Rumble for over an hour and then gauntlet matches and risk this guy's injury with big name guys on SmackDown Live and then have him team with Kane and reform Team Hell No and then protect him all of a sudden. What are you protecting? You do realize that everything that you do is going to weigh heavy on his mind. If he doesn't get what he wants, if you show him that you cannot trust him, he will take his services somewhere else. And that's something WWE, A, doesn't want, B, can't afford it to happen. Not with the way things are going right now for promotions like Ring of Honor and New Japan. WWE will look to kill competition by any means necessary. This is why you are hearing every single week, and you will hear it every single week until the day comes where the clock strikes 12 and those guys over in New Japan, you know who I'm talking about, has their contracts up. And WWE will look to whisk them away with some big money deals. Not to kill New Japan, but to kill competition. WWE does not want competition. And they will be doing themselves and this guy a great disservice if they don't push him to a title program in which we know he is capable of, in which he deserves, and we deserve. If you could fucking push Roman Reigns in a storyline that is believable to nobody outside of the female demographic, then you could push Daniel Bryan into a program after 4 fucking years of wanting to come back and getting something he rightfully deserves. Another shot at the top. I don't think Daniel Bryan needs to prove anything else to you. It's all on WWE and their fucking paranoia that this guy's going to get hurt again. It's okay to protect him, but you can't say, yeah, well, we're not going to push him because we're afraid he's going to get hurt again, but you got no fucking problem putting him in the Greatest Royal Rumble for over an hour and then putting him in a fucking 2-match in 1 night situation with Samoa Joe and Big E. Those weren't walks in the park. Can't play 2 sides of the coin here, WWE. You can't play 2 sides of the coin. Moving on here. According to the report, Mike Johnson states, and I quote, "They are going to let him wrestle, but put him in scenarios where he's protected. And if you're looking for those long, drawn-out 45-minute American Dragon-style matches with the hard physical style, that's not where they feel he should be." I don't want a 45-minute American Dragon Classic. You don't need to have a 45-minute American Dragon Classic. Who the fuck is having 45-minute American Dragon Classics? Nobody. So, A, WWE is just really, really stretching to find whatever excuse to protect Daniel Bryan. It's one thing to protect him. It's another thing to hold this guy back from fully reaching the potential that he has. And Daniel Bryan has not really risked himself the way that he used to. He ain't doing flying headbutts. He ain't really doing fucking suicide dives to the outside like fucking Big E, risking to fucking kill himself every night. Daniel Bryan has toned his fucking in-ring style down from what we used to see. You know, we still see the basic stuff. We still see the running knee strikes in the corner. We still see the big flying knee. He's not going to the top doing the fucking headbutt anymore. You know? He scaled it down. So I don't understand where the physical style comes from. Daniel Bryan is always going to have some sort of physical style because that's who he is. You can't change anybody completely from what they've known all their life. It was you who put him back in the ring, knowing what this guy was going to do. And we don't want to see 45-minute American Dragon-style classics. Put him in the ring with AJ Styles and give me fucking 20 minutes on a pay-per-view in the main event and tell me that this guy's not going to fucking deliver. Give me a break. That's not where they want him to be. It's one thing to perform at that level. That's not where they trust him physically to be, and they are going to use him more as a character more than the guy that's the nucleus of the glue of the athletic aspect of the business. Well then, WWE is running the risk of losing him completely. That's my take on that. He continues. You want the Daniel Bryan back, but you're not going to get the American Dragon back. So you have to live with it. You're not going to get the long drawn-out matches based on the way they are booking him. Johnson continued. Maybe he's leaving. Maybe he hasn't signed the new deal. They're coming up with ways to utilize him rather than push him as a top guy. I feel like they're like, you know what? We'll just give the fans just enough and we'll protect him physically at the same time by having him in tag team matches, end quote. Then you run the risk of losing Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan, I am sure if you ask him, because he's not going to outwardly come out and say, I don't want to team with Kane, I don't want to do what the WWE is doing. This is all weighing on his mind, and all of this is leading to an ultimate decision come September 1st. The guy wants to wrestle. If you are not going to let him wrestle and achieve the greatness that he knows he still has, then he will go somewhere else and prove to you that you are wrong and that you made the biggest mistake of your fucking lives. In a time and age where wrestling is growing ever so popular on the independent scene, you are running the risk of not keeping one of the best in the world. You are going to let one of the best in the world go join the others who are best in the world? That ain't a good business move if you ask me. You can protect him by other means to keep him away from what this guy wants to do and what he thinks he could achieve. That is what's going to drive him away. And I don't want to see him driven away. I've said it for years before he was forced to retire. And believe me, I am not the only one who thinks there's some type of weird conspiracy. It's one thing to protect him, but to not make this guy a top guy when everybody in that company knows he is probably still the most over guy on that entire fucking roster. Why won't you push him? Why won't you give him what this guy ultimately deserves? He hasn't proven enough to you? No, but you got plan upon plan upon plan for Roman Reigns, which will ultimately fail year after year after year. Your top guy doesn't exist in Roman Reigns. I don't know what else needs to be done and said to prove these people wrong. You have Daniel Bryan in this company. The fact that this report came out today is fucking mind-numbing. If I'm WWE, I'm sitting down with Bryan and I'm giving this guy the world. You cannot afford to have this guy go wrestle for a New Japan or Ring of Honor. Daniel Bryan, if he has that big of an impact to go somewhere else and make a serious fucking threat of competition, what do you think that means for your company? If they are so afraid to let this guy go to a New Japan and join the elite over in New Japan or join Ring of Honor, if they are afraid of him doing that and making such an impact in the world of wrestling, why won't they let this guy do what he needs to do to make that same type of impact in the company? It doesn't make sense. There's only one reason and one reason only why they won't give this guy what he wants. It's a political fucking agenda. I hope he leaves. I truly hope Daniel Bryan leaves. Not because I don't want to see Daniel Bryan in the WWE. He probably, besides Johnny Gargano, is my favorite guy there. AJ Styles, guys like that. Guys that reek of old school and give me some sense of, wow, professional wrestling is still alive in WWE outside of this fucking entertainment bullshit. I want Daniel Bryan to leave the WWE, not because I don't want to see him win the WWE Championship again, but because I want him to stick it to WWE because their methods and their way of thinking is so fucking against the business that they need to feel the fucking pain. When Daniel Bryan goes to New Japan, we don't know when, we don't know if he's going to stay, go, if, we don't know the details of his contract. When, if, whatever. Daniel Bryan goes to New Japan, and he's wrestling Kenny Omega for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I want to see WWE fucking cry about Daniel Bryan leaving the company. I want to see them bury Daniel Bryan on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live. I want to see them make fun of who Daniel Bryan is. Go ahead. Go ahead. Then, at that point, you know they are fucking feeling sorry for not giving this guy what he wants and what he deserves. Right now, nobody knows whether he's going to sign a new deal or end up heading to New Japan, something he has shown great interest in previously. If that's the case, then it makes sense as to why we've had these dream matches on SmackDown Live, along with the fact that WWE isn't giving him a considerable title push or putting him in the role of a top star. I don't think anybody can refute what I said here. I think everybody's in agreement about Daniel Bryan. I don't think it's a wise business move. I know I reported a couple of weeks ago that Daniel Bryan requests certain things as far as creative control for who he wants to fight and wrestle, and he wants Brock Lesnar in that contract negotiation. Now, that may be going a little bit too far, and I don't blame WWE for not giving him that. But to give him everything else that he asked for, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I really don't. WWE, this is the biggest business move that they will make outside of offering Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes contracts at the end of the year. This is their biggest priority right now. If they don't step up to the plate and do what needs to be done, then this will be one of the biggest losses for this company ever. Ever. Because this one man holds the key to fucking serious competition in the wrestling world. This one man holds the key to WWE just shaking in their fucking boots about competition and fans leaving to go watch Daniel Bryan elsewhere. It's not a good business move. It's not a good look on you, WWE. You need to buckle down and fucking sign this guy to a deal the best you can. He holds the change that this business is going through. Him. And if you don't, that change is going to leave with him, and you will never see it again. If I'm a businessman in WWE, I'm not allowing that to happen at all. Those are my thoughts on Daniel Bryan not getting pushed. This report came out from Mike Johnson and PW Insider. I had to report on it. Some things don't really make sense. I don't know whether it's Mike Johnson not really reporting correctly or if this is WWE, which I believe it is the case. This is WWE just going hot and cold with who they want to push and who they don't want to push. They don't want to push Daniel Bryan and give me Daniel Bryan quality matches, but they're not afraid to put this guy in the Greatest Royal Rumble for over an hour, get his ass kicked by every fucking guy on that roster, and then put him in a gauntlet match with Samoa Joe and Big E. Doesn't make sense to me. We'll see what happens with Daniel Bryan. We got this one summer. We got a couple months left to go before we find out what is going on with Bryan's contract. And at that point, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. We will know soon enough. When he's not on SmackDown Live anymore, we will know the decision that he has ultimately made. This is Off the Script. This is episode 228, part number 2 for your Saturday. So let's get this fucking thing going, man. Let's hit the introduction, and I'll be right back with the day's news and rumors right here on Off the Script. off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man?
Well, this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is off the script. Want to continue to let you guys know that we are going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in just 2 weeks, man. Off the Script is coming to Pittsburgh. It's going to be live at Buford's Kitchen at Terrace on 5th. It's right above Buford's Kitchen, right across from the PPG Paints Arena, where I will be attending Extreme Rules. It's going to be a good night, man. We're going to do a live Off the Script special from 4 to 6 p.m. It is free to attend. There is absolutely no cover charge. There's going to be food and drink specials. It's a rooftop bar, my type of place. I'll be there all day. And we're going to do a live Off the Script preview and predictions from 4 to 6. We're going to do preview and predictions. We're going to do a Q&A. You guys can ask me anything you want. And it's going to be a good time, man. So come on down if you are in the Pittsburgh area. If you're in the Pennsylvania area, you're going to make the trip out to Pittsburgh, whether that's from Philadelphia or any surrounding cities that might be close to Pittsburgh, and you're going to make the travel. It's going to be great, man. I want to try and get as many of you guys out there as possible. So if you are going to attend Extreme Rules, come on down to Terrace on 5th at Buford's Kitchen, man. Right on top of Buford's Kitchen, right across from the PPG Paints Arena. Again, free to attend. There's going to be other events going on there that's going to charge you for ticket prices and cover charges. Ours is free, man. So let's make it happen and let's have a good time in Pittsburgh in just 2 weeks. Extreme Rules weekend. That Saturday, we're going to be picking 2 winners this weekend. I'm just waiting on word from Wrestle Rumble, and I'm waiting on word from Bryan about choosing winners. And we might send a tweet out for you guys, and 2 lucky guys if you guys are going to be there. A couple, it could be you and your wife. It could be anybody. 2 random fans of the podcast, 2 random fans who are fans of what Wrestle Rumble does each and every month with their pick'em. We're going to choose 2 of you to have dinner with all of us at Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant in downtown Pittsburgh, man. It's going to be great. Again, it's going to be drink specials there. We're going to have access to the bar. We're going to have access to the restaurant. It should be a fun time, man. It's going to be unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen. This is a first for me. So hopefully there are many more to come. And this is a huge thank you to everybody that is making this happen. And a huge thank you to you guys for supporting the podcast all these years as we continue to truck along, man. I am nowhere near done. I am not even close to where I want to be. And we are continuing to grow each and every single weekend. Thanks to you guys. To go along with this, man, Bryan has set up a GoFundMe page for research towards ovarian cancer. You guys have heard the story. His mother is recovering, thankfully, from ovarian cancer. And I want to show him the power of this podcast. I want to show him how we all support him and his mother. If you guys have had anybody in your family, friend that has gone through cancer treatment, my grandmother, when I was in 6th grade, passed away from pancreatic cancer. And it was a terrible situation, man. I think of her every fucking year, every time her birthday comes around. She actually passed away on February 3rd when I was in 6th grade. And coincidentally, my grandpa passed away from Alzheimer's on that very same date, February 3rd. And I find that to be no coincidence, man, because if you guys know my family, my grandmother, my dad's mom, my grandma on his side, loved my grandfather, who is my mom's dad. They They loved each other, and they were probably the only two members of my mom and dad's family that actually got along and respected one another. So I find that to be quite the coincidence there. But if you guys want to show your support, not only for the show, but to Bryan and his mother recovering from ovarian cancer, please do so, man. Link will be down in the comment section, pinned at the very top. It will be in every Off the Script episode till we get to Pittsburgh, man. Also, I want to thank my friend Rusty for his support, and the least I could do to show him our support for him, he is riding all through the Wisconsin area, man. It's going to be his bike tour 2018, and he is riding for research towards MS, multiple sclerosis, man. He's doing a great job. He is training like a beast, and he is almost at his goal, man. If we can get him anywhere near the completion of his goal, I would really appreciate that. So, two great causes, one big event in Pittsburgh. You guys know what to do, man. All the information for pledging and donating and supporting is down pinned in the comment section at the very top. Please do so. And if you guys are going to donate to either cause, man, leave a comment. Leave a comment on the GoFundMe page that Bryan set up. I will give you guys a shout out here on Off the Script for your generosity. And I want to show you guys the appreciation that I can. And if you guys are going to donate to Rusty, I'm saying this. He gets notifications of every donation that comes in. If you guys are merely going to say you donated and he doesn't get anything, you will be put on blast. So if you're going to donate, donate. Just don't say you're going to donate and don't do anything to back that up. Because he knows. Okay? I just want to make that very, very clear. Because Rusty has respectfully called out those who said that they donated, yet he didn't get anything. Same thing happens to me. When people buy a fucking t-shirt, I get an email notification at the moment it is fucking sold. The moment you put in your credit card information and hit buy, complete, I get a notification of it. You know how many times people have said, yeah, I bought a t-shirt and I got 0 notifications that day? People say shit just to show everybody that they're supporting, but they're really not supporting. I hate that shit. Don't do it. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to Rusty, okay? That's the last time I'm going to say that. Just want to get that out there. But if you guys want to donate, everything's down in the comments below. We've had a very, very busy week, man. Raw, night 1 of the UK tournament. SmackDown, night 2 of the UK tournament. And the UK Championship special on the WWE Network. NXT, Off the Script, Extra, where we talked about the Extreme Rules multi-man main event that was planned, now canceled. All that on the channel right now, on top of what we did yesterday, close to 2 hours of Off the Script for part 1 as we talk about Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon's sheer insanity moving forward towards SummerSlam. This guy don't know what the fuck he's doing. His new plan is absolutely out of this world insane and proves why he should step down. So go listen to that. This plan is absolutely insane. We talk about all that on part 1 of Off the Script. Everything you need is linked in the annotations that you see in the top right corner of this video. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button. We are dangerously close to 94,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. I'm fucking Sicilian. I use my hands a lot when I talk. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel down below, please do so. Hit that bell, turn on notifications so you guys know and are aware if YouTube wants to work that given day of when I do indeed upload. If not, Twitter's got you covered because everything that I post to YouTube, it gets sent directly to Twitter. So make sure you guys are covered on all bases. So thank you guys very much for that. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript if you're going to be meeting me in Pittsburgh, New York for SummerSlam, Chicago for All In. You better get your fucking t-shirts, man. You got 2 weeks till Extreme Rules. You'll get your t-shirt in a week. Do it. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harry's is back. Good old Harry's, man. And I got to shave today because I'm looking a little bit grizzly. But Harry's has got me covered, man. Harrys.com/script. You're going to get a free trial. Harry's wants to ensure you that, listen, we're going to give you the best shave of your life. We're going to give you a free trial shave set because that's how confident we are that you're going to have a great shave. You're going to get a handle, a blade, the foaming shave gel that soothes and hydrates. And according to you guys, several of you have reported that, JD, this smells fantastic and it feels good, man. Once you put that gel on your face, you're gonna hear yourself saying, "Wow, JD's right," and then you're gonna feel that tingling sensation on your skin. It's great. It's great. And then you're gonna get a protective case as well. So if you guys are traveling and you're going on vacation, you're gonna be able to take Harry's with you, man. All this wrapped up into one free trial. You're going to enter information. You're going to pay the $2 or $3 shipping and handling. And boom, Harry's is going to be in your mailbox. And you're going to have the best shave of your life. If you guys have already signed up, tell a friend, a family member, a coworker, a classmate, the fucking guy at the deli with the big beard. Tell him. Harrys.com/script. Audible. Audibletrial.com/offthescript for your free 1 month subscription to Audible and one free audio book of your choice. And if you guys don't like Audible, you guys can cancel anytime within the 30-day grace period. Cancel it and you get to keep your audio book for free, man. There's more than just wrestling. You got 190,000 different choices to choose from, so make Audible yours, man. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. You got the app on your iPhone and Android devices. You're good to go, man. Thank you guys so much for that. And if you want to support the podcast through Patreon, patreon.com/JDFromNY206. I am bringing back Off the Script Retro for Patreon. It will be $5 or more patrons for Off the Script Retro. We just had 2 anniversaries this month. King of the Ring, and we had Hell in a Cell. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a poll right now on Patreon. Which event would you guys want me to cover and what year? And I will give you an in-depth video retro off-the-script review of either one of those 2 shows and whatever year you guys want me to cover. I like the 1993 version of The King of the Ring, and I don't mind watching that again. So if you guys want to go vote on that and you guys want to pledge to the podcast to get some exclusive content that you're not going to see on YouTube, there you go, man. Patreon.com/JDFromNY206. Let's get to the news, man. I got one story I want to start off with because I find it to be hilarious. I also find it very, very, I would say eye-opening. And he might not outwardly say what we are thinking every Monday night, but there's a reason why he did what he did, and it's because of the same exact way that we're thinking. No one is going to change my mind. But he obviously is going to give you the political runaround with his answer. Now, although a lot of fans have mixed feelings about it, it seems a certainty that it will be Triple H who will take over when Vince McMahon steps aside. I wish it was tomorrow, because this guy is absolutely out of his fucking mind demented. Over the years, Triple H has been given more opportunity, more responsibility. We know the amazing work he's doing with NXT. We know the amazing turnaround that he has bestowed upon 205 Live. Perhaps his biggest success in WWE so far is that he turned NXT from a gimmick, competition-based show to a so-called developmental brand that regularly competes with Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, and the majority of the weeks completely outshines them in everything that they do. Not with weekly television only, but with takeover events every single major WWE pay-per-view. With Vince's focus inevitably falling on his revived XFL project, it's resulted in Triple H receiving much bigger roles behind the scenes. One of those is steering the once sinking ship known as the Cruiserweight division. With Vince focusing on the character aspect of 205 Live, Triple H ditched that approach and instead is concentrating on the in-ring abilities of his roster. This is what made the Cruiserweight Classic so appealing, and much of the credit fell on Triple H's shoulders after that was a resounding success, and to this very day, according to pretty much everybody you talk to, one of the best productions that WWE has ever had on the WWE Network. Now, Triple H has made another massive decision on Monday Night Raw, which a lot of fans might love. But depending again on who you talk to, if Triple H is in charge of 205 Live, why wouldn't we see this type of shit on Monday night, ultimately making Monday night better? Especially those who want the cerebral assassin, Triple H, to save the Cruiserweight division. According to PW Insider, Triple H has personally made the call to take all Cruiserweight stars off of Monday Night Raw moving forward. The reason for this big move, and this is where the political side of Triple H comes in, the reason for this move is that Triple H doesn't want the entertaining Cruiserweight stars to become overexposed and wants to make sure that they are protected by only appearing on 205 Live, the Cruiserweight dedicated show. The goal of Triple H long term is that he wants 205 Live back on the road as a standalone show rather than just becoming sideshows to the main roster. Clearly, turning 205 Live into a massive success isn't going to happen overnight. On a weekly basis, however, we're hearing more and more positive stories about the work that's happening on 205 Live, primarily revolving around the likes of Mustafa Ali, Buddy Murphy, Cedric Alexander, and now including star prospect Lio Rush. This change has the majority of fans welcoming the Cruiserweights, especially those who don't want the Cruiserweight division to fail. By featuring the Cruiserweight stars more and more on a 3-hour Raw where fans already get tired, it doesn't give them an incentive to tune into 205 Live and watch the exciting action. Again, it's going to take some time before the show possibly becomes the success Triple H wants it to be, but it's undoubtedly the best decision to not overexpose them. Is that truly his concern? Or is his concern on Monday Night Raw where he doesn't have much say and that anything that he brings to the table will probably be overlooked for Vince McMahon's vision and they will not be treated like they are on 205 Live? Is that his fear? Because we all know with Vince McMahon and 205 Live, listen here, Triple H, we can't have you putting these guys on Raw outperforming Roman Reigns. We gotta keep them to a 205 limit, meaning 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And if it ain't in an 8-man tag, then we don't want to see it. Or is it that? You decide for yourself. Because I get the idea of overexposing. I get the idea of not putting these guys on Raw to keep them in their own world. But what about these dual-branded pay-per-views that you got? 205 Live's a brand. I want to see the Cruiserweight Championship defended at an Extreme Rules. I want to see the Cruiserweight Championship defended at SummerSlam. In front of those major market crowds. I've said it time and time again. How many of you have watched Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander? Probably going to go down as one of the best matches all year. How you cannot put that match in front of a New York City crowd on the main show and they're not going to get over is just absolutely asinine to me. Asinine. There's no way. These guys should be featured on Monday Night Raw. And if the people who ran Monday Night Raw had a fucking brain, and if the people who ran Monday Night Raw loved what they do and loved wrestling and appreciated the talent that this company has, then they would be featured the same way in which they are featured on 205 Live. Monday Night Raw should have, whether it's at the start of the show, I wish they would fucking change up the formulaic presentation to this show. You know, I'd love some weeks if we start a 20-minute fucking match with Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy. Or whomever's in that fucking division. Start the show off with that. Then lead into a talking segment. Switch it up. It's alright to be adventurous there, McMahon. And what? You can't change anything that we're doing. Every single week, you got to hear Kurt Angle's theme song and him doing this like a fucking idiot. Formulaic garbage is what Raw has become. If it's not in the start of the show, feature these guys at the top of the 9 o'clock hour where people are tuning in and you got your maximum viewership. Don't put them on at 10:30 when no one's watching the third hour. Don't stricken these guys to 6-man tags and 8-man tags and fucking 10-man tags and then have it last 2 minutes. That's WWE's logic behind it. Or is it that aspect that Triple H is trying to keep them away from Raw? I think it's that one. Overexposed? You put one cruiserweight match on a week and you feature talent that these casuals, these fucking demented, soulless, lifeless, fucking clueless fan base that you see in the YWC that don't appreciate or don't even know what 205 Live is, you put great wrestling in front of them, it will get over. What did I say? What did I say on Monday Night Raw? When Rollins and Ziggler went at it. Professional wrestling is over. It's Vince McMahon who's living in a fucking bubble and is not really feeling the winds of change in the world of professional wrestling. People want to see a product more like New Japan. Now more so than ever. Whatever he's doing, he ain't doing right. And the money has nothing to do with it. Nothing. The fact that WWE is making billions upon billions of dollars from Fox and USA has no bearing on the product. In fact, it's going to make it worse. Because they are going to sit in their offices and be like, ha 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 ha, we can put on whatever we want. Look at the money we're making. They're going to watch anyway. Not on Fox. You dip in the ratings, you're going to have a new night for SmackDown Live, and you might not even have a SmackDown Live on Fox if you don't give us great television. But that's the mindset of these people. That's the mindset of these fucking clueless fans. Oh, WWE's making all this money. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Really? That is the best you got. Again, I ask, what difference does it make how much money WWE makes? Are you seeing any revenue? Are you seeing any commission from WWE? Are you a spokesman? Are you going door to door selling the WWE network? The fuck do you care about how much money they're making? You do realize that the product is trash. You do realize that the Cruiserweights were ultimately embarrassed by Vince McMahon and Monday Night Raw because nobody over there loves wrestling. Fuck out of here. Now, Triple H may not want to overexpose them, but these types of guys, in the direction that he's taking them, need to be exposed. He don't want to put them on Raw because of how Vince and Dunn are going to treat them. That's the real meaning behind that. This is nothing but Paul Levesque and the businessman Paul Levesque speaking. They need to be exposed. Any type of fucking momentum and adrenaline that you could find in this company certainly needs to be injected in Monday Night Raw. Fuck out of here, overexposed. It's WWE who want nothing to do with the Cruiserweights on Raw. Triple H had to pretty much fucking resurrect this shit from the grave. It was already dead. Look at what he's doing with it now. A lot of work still yet to be done, but they're actually putting on better shows than SmackDown and Raw. 2 segments out of 16 on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, it's a good show. The fuck are you watching? A good show. Is your middle name mediocrity? I don't even think what they're presenting is mediocrity. It's garbage. It's trash. It's embarrassing. 16 segments on Monday Night Raw. You get one match out of Rollins and Ziggler that is a 4-star match. Yeah, Raw was good. What did I watch for the other 2 hours and 45 minutes? Did you watch Ziggler and Rollins on repeat for 2 hours? Did you mistakenly put on an NXT takeover that I don't know of? Get it through your fucking heads! The product is bad! That's why people come here. If you want some fucking pussy who's gonna just make believe it's all sunshine and rainbows. There's plenty of podcasts and content creators you can listen to. That's why when I go on other people's videos and leave a comment, oh, you're a faggot. Oh, or you're garbage. You're the worst content creator in the wrestling community. Really now? Really now? Why is that? Because my paychecks seem to prove otherwise. My audience, my viewership, and all my statistics and analytics that I look at 16 times a fucking day tell me otherwise. The fact that I'm doing major work with House of Glory tells me otherwise. If I wasn't where I was, no one would want to work with me. The fuck do I care if you don't watch me? You don't watch me because you're afraid of fucking hearing somebody tell you like it is. You're afraid. Get out of your fucking bubble and realize things are not so positive. Tired of these fucking podcasts and these content creators and their fucking fan base that is so divided, it makes the community as worse as what we're seeing on Monday night. Fuck out of here. There's a reason why you don't see this on Wednesdays. Moving on. Gotta come back down because people piss me off. Genuinely piss me off, man. Speaking of NXT. WWE could be moving NXT to Fox. According to Ryan Satin, we may be getting this imminently. Pro Wrestling Sheet, during an investor call on Wednesday, co-presidents George Barrios and Michelle Wilson of WWE were asked about other WWE programming coming to Fox. Their answer was that there have been discussions about more WWE shows coming to both the main Fox network and Fox Sports 1, though no more specifics were included or which shows or dates were announced. The report goes on to say that NXT has been rumored to come to Fox Sports 1, FS1, but neither Barrios or Wilson mentioned this in the call. You know, I've gone back and forth. I love NXT. You guys know that. If you watch me, you know that. I love NXT. I've gone back and forth on wanting NXT to be live, and I've gone back and forth on NXT being taped the way it is. The only reason why I would want it live is because there's nothing better than a live atmosphere, listening to that live as it's happening. You know, NXT's crowds are still rabid, and they're still loud, and they still do what, you know, an NXT crowd should do, taped. The one thing that I'm thinking about is if NXT moves to FS1, you know, what does that mean for it as a developmental brand where people go to learn? What does that mean? It's on the network, but what does that mean for the brand? Does that mean now it's a third brand for WWE legitimately? Does that mean that WWE is going to acknowledge NXT when it needs to acknowledge NXT? I need to know that. Because if it's going to become a major third brand on a major sports network, then why are we going to treat it as an independent fucking entity of WWE? Why are we going to treat it as a performance brand where people go to learn and train before they make their main roster debut on Raw and SmackDown? We can't be doing that anymore. And it also kind of plays into the fact of, well, if it's on a major network, it should be treated like Raw and SmackDown. Why would anybody want to move from NXT outside the pay that you're probably sure to get increased by moving to Raw and SmackDown and be featured on pay-per-views for Raw and SmackDown? That's the only reason. Because if I'm an NXT talent and I'm on a major network like FS1, I don't want to move from NXT. I don't want to fucking go to Raw. I don't want to go to SmackDown because I know ultimately I'm going to end up like an Almas and a Nakamura and everybody else that's been treated poorly moved from NXT. The other thing that I've been contemplating on, like I said, live versus taped. Is it going to be live on FS1? Is Fox going to want NXT to be live every single week? Or is it going to remain taped? In fact, I think I want it to remain taped. NXT tapes 4 weeks of television in a single day, and then they do what they need to do as they go on tour. To me, having it taped is better because it gives the writers so much time to prepare and get a vision of where they want to go when they sit down and tape these shows. They have all month to sit down and write who they want where do you want to go, who's going to be in the title picture. If it was week to week, it would put more stress on the creative team, and that's not something that I want to have happen to NXT. The quality needs to be where it is now. If it goes live and you're going to force these guys to write on a weekly basis on top of everything else that they're doing, then I think it's going to be a huge stress ball for whoever's working there. I don't want that. I do not want that at all. Now, what does this mean for the network, too? How many people outside of the back catalog and all the access we have to every fucking WWE show that there ever was, how many of you right now simply are subscribed to the network for NXT? What my subscription, does for me, NXT, those 24 specials are great. I'm not sitting down watching fucking shit from the early days. I'm not. I don't have time to do that. I really don't. I'll turn it on every now and then when there's nothing on fucking cable, but I mainly use the network for the pay-per-views every month because it's a steal, and I use it because I do this as my job, this is my living, and NXT. Simple. Are you going to take NXT away from the WWE network knowing that the majority of the people who subscribe to the network are getting stuff like NXT? Is it even going to be featured on the network if it moves to FS1? These are the things we have to be concerned with. If there's anything more that could be added to this discussion, let me know down in the comments below. But it could be imminent. It may even be imminent now as I'm recording this. Could be already announced. And this may be old news by the time it comes out. We don't know. Ryan Satin said he has something major planned for Friday afternoon. I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see in the coming days. Major changes to Jeff Hardy's character are coming to SmackDown Live. On SmackDown Live this week, Jeff Hardy defended the United States Championship against Eric Young of Sanity. The match ended up being a no contest and eventually became a 6-man tag team match, which resulted in the injury of Shinsuke Nakamura. In fact, he was suffered with a guard dog, a police dog, biting him. The severity of that is not known yet on Tuesday. The Hardy vs. Nakamura match hit a snag, a roadblock, and it should continue when Nakamura is fully recovered. The expectation is that Hardy will be dropping the U.S. title to Nakamura sooner rather than later. This is something that I brought up on SmackDown Live. I don't see how you can take Nakamura out of a WWE Championship feud with AJ Styles, which he lost, and then put him immediately in a U.S. title situation with Jeff Hardy when he's done nothing to deserve a U.S. title shot. You can't just put someone in a WWE title match, have them lose, and then say, we're going to put him in the U.S. title instead. Doesn't work that way. What about everybody else that's vying for a U.S. title opportunity? Doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. His reign as champion, Hardy, has proven that WWE isn't finished showcasing Hardy as a single star in the company, but it's coming to light that WWE officials are planning to make some major changes to Jeff's on-screen character. Now, according to several sources, Jeff hasn't been doing his finisher, the Swanton Bomb, as often during WWE live events. He did do it against Eric Young, and actually, he didn't do it against Eric Young. He did it against Sanity. I don't remember who he hit it on. I think it was Alexander Wolf in that 6-man tag. After building a career as a huge risk taker, the fans have decided, the fans have noticed rather, and WWE has decided to alter and slow his wrestling style. And the fans have noticed this is coming as well. No one is immune to age, especially someone like Jeff, who's taken many dangerous spots over the years. Seems that Hardy is suffering from the same kind of perception issues that Mick Foley had to deal with in his career. After taking big risks for so many years, it's all that some fans want you to see. Or it's all that fans want to see from said Mick Foley and Jeff Hardy. WWE officials clearly don't need Jeff to jump off ladders for him to be successful, and there could be some character changes to make that a lot clearer to everyone. Sources have also reported that a character makeover could be coming for the charismatic Enigma, and the signs of that change have already been shown in the feud with Nakamura moving forward. Seems that WWE are trying to make things a lot safer for Jeff, because the last thing anybody wants to see is his career coming to an end. I don't mind Jeff slowing down. He's 41 years old. I don't mind Jeff not jumping off ladders. I don't mind Jeff, slowing his in-ring style down and being a more submission-based, ground-based guy with an occasional move off the top rope. Everybody should understand this. We've gotten many, many, many years of Jeff Hardy risking his fucking career and life for us. I think it's about time we give him the same fucking respect. If he needs to slow down for health reasons, then we as a fan base need to respect Jeff Hardy slowing down and WWE's decision to slow him down. Clearly, there's still money to be made in Jeff Hardy. He is still a major merchandise mover. He's still a big name and a main event level talent on SmackDown Live. They don't want to risk that. The best thing for them to do is alter his in-ring style. Daniel Bryan had to do it. Jeff Hardy should do the same thing. Simple as that. When the moment comes, or if you want to do a big spot at a major pay-per-view when it calls for it, fine. But you don't need to be risking your career at house shows and every week on SmackDown Live. Save it for when it matters. Simple. I am okay with this decision. And I think everybody is okay with the character change as well, with him wearing the face paint now, like the old school days. I think everybody's on board with that. Hardy will be fine. But to me, right now, with all the news of his injuries, the pinched nerve, same thing that Jason Jordan had, and the leg injury where he was clearly limping on SmackDown Live, maybe it's time for him to take a month off. I don't know how WWE will do that with SummerSlam coming up, but they may want to give him a small sabbatical to just clear his mind and get right before they put him back in another major feud. Give the title to Nakamura. Maybe we get some great matches with him for the U.S. Championship. Now, Nakamura wouldn't be my first choice. I already pitched the idea of Almas coming out and challenging Jeff Hardy to an open challenge and taking the title off of Jeff Hardy. It would fit his character and fit his initiative on SmackDown Live. They come to take over. At any given opportunity, you see one, you take it. Simple. Almas, U.S. title. Vince likes that title on a foreign competitor. Whether it's a Rusev or a Mahal, an Almas. It would fit what WWE likes to do with the U.S. title, and it would be on someone who can fucking wrestle. I like that idea better than giving it to Nakamura. Because what has Nakamura done for the U.S. Championship outside of him being Shinsuke Nakamura? That's just my thoughts on that. I have no problem with Jeff Hardy slowing his in-ring style down. Speaking of Nakamura and Almas, how Shinsuke Nakamura's booking screwed over Andrade Almas. I talked about this on Tuesday. I told you I had a report. At first, the WWE Universe wasn't sure how to react to Shinsuke Nakamura's heel turn at WrestleMania 34. Almost 3 months later, he's received a lot of praise for the change of character. He wasn't able to capture the WWE Championship from AJ Styles, and a lot of people thought that their feud went on for too long, but Shinsuke and his heel run will continue. WWE officials have transitioned him into an interesting rivalry with Jeff Hardy over the United States Championship. Hardy versus Nakamura should be a bizarre yet exciting mix of personalities for the U.S. Championship. Unfortunately, WWE officials may have unintentionally screwed over Andrade Almas in the process of moving Nakamura in the U.S. title hunt. According to a report from Dirty Sheets, Vince McMahon was grooming Andrade Almas for a feud with Jeff Hardy, which I assumed would culminate with a match at SummerSlam. The expectation was Almas would have won the title from Hardy because Vince loves a foreign heel holding the United States Championship. We've seen that time and time again. We didn't need a report from Dirty Sheets to fill us in on that information. Nakamura is getting that spot now that he's moved out of the WWE title hunt, which leaves Almas with nothing. Obviously, WWE officials are trying to compensate for Nakamura failing to capture the WWE Championship from Styles. Who's to blame there? Now they want to compensate when they fucked it up. So they are giving him the U.S. title. The logic is sound for Nakamura's sake, but it's unclear where Almas goes from here. They did the same thing with Jinder. Jinder loses the title, he gets the United States Championship because he failed at one thing. When WWE knew he would fail, they give him the United States Championship when it should have been the other way around. He should have been the U.S. Championship, and then if he proved himself, maybe you give him a WWE Championship. WWE did the same thing with Nakamura. Instead, they should have gave him the WWE Championship in October and then have him lose to AJ Styles, and then we probably wouldn't be in this boat. So Nakamura's shitty booking stemming from the Mahal feud last year is still wreaking havoc over SmackDown Live because it's just a snowball effect. How you book someone, or the lack of how you book someone, clearly is affecting him in the middle of 2018. Almas is still finding his footing on the main roster. Has he even stepped foot on the main roster? I don't know. He hasn't wrestled a match since mid-May. And a brief feud with Sin Cara wasn't going to get him over. There are plenty of faces for him to work with now, but WWE officials need to ensure that he doesn't become irrelevant to the audience because he doesn't have as many choices to get over with the crowd as he did during his time in NXT. This is WWE's fault. They got Almas cutting iPhone promos instead of him being in the ring. We all want to see him in the ring. You got time to bring fucking Kane back to television. Meanwhile, you can't give me an Almas versus Dillinger and a little mini feud there. Maybe Almas versus Benjamin, a little mini feud there. Move him on to someone bigger. Maybe a Randy Orton at SummerSlam, which I'm pitching right now. Almas versus Orton at SummerSlam. What's going on here, WWE? Did you bring Almas up with a plan, or did you bring Almas up for the sake of taking him away from NXT and just wasting him like everybody else? There's no reason, there's no excuse why Almas is not being used on SmackDown Live. Zero excuse. Zero. If the best you have with him is a feud with fucking Sin Cara, then by God, you need to be removed from your position immediately. If you had no plans for this guy, then he should have remained on NXT. Remained on NXT. We could have got Almas and Gargano continuing. We could have got Almas versus Black in a rematch. Almas versus Ricochet. Almas versus anybody. Anybody. Yeah, WWE brings him to the main roster with zero plan. Then they groom him for something, and then they unintentionally it said, they intentionally did it. Who did it? Whose decision was it? Dirty Sheet says McMahon was grooming Almas for the U.S. title, so who made the fucking decision to put Nakamura for the U.S. title? It was Vince McMahon. I don't know. Very, very weird. Very weird. I say this is another fucking casualty from NXT. That's the way I'm seeing it. And I will say that every single time until I see change. If they truly believe in Almas and want to push Almas and groom Almas, then he will start to be pushed the way we need to see him pushed. This guy has the match of the fucking year for your company. You know the level of talent that this guy has. With Vega by his side, they are a great power couple. The fact that they are being wasted right now, shame on WWE. Yet you're going to entice a Kenny Omega and a Young Bucks to come to the WWE. All you need to look at is how they're treating their guys on their shows. You're going to entice anybody to come to the company? Look at this guy. Star caliber world champion athlete wrestler. Wasted. This guy's been brought up from NXT to SmackDown Live following WrestleMania, and the guy has had no impact on a show that features fucking Kane in your main event for your tag team titles. Fuck you, WWE. This company is fucking garbage. Speaking of SmackDown Live, here's another one for you. While WWE's building towards Money in the... they were building towards Money in the Bank. Now they're building towards SummerSlam. Much attention was on the male and female competitors going into those said ladder matches. With Money in the Bank, obviously we've seen what happened. We've seen what happened from that. You know, WWE not using tag teams. That's another thing going into SummerSlam and coming out of Money in the Bank. Two exciting NXT teams, Authors of Pain and Sanity, were called up after WrestleMania 34. Neither of them have made an impact on either show. So we get Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel being pushed as the B team. Being pushed over a team like the Authors of Pain. Were they promoted too soon? Absolutely. Thankfully, they have been regulars on TV, but unfortunately the same can't be said for The Bar. The Bar. B Team has been featured regularly. Authors of Pain made their return. Sanity, 2 weeks in on SmackDown Live. The same can't be said about Sheamus and Cesaro. Why haven't The Bar been featured on television? Well, Sheamus and Cesaro have been noticeably absent from SmackDown Live since switching to SmackDown Live during the Superstar Shakeup. Many people have been wondering why. And thanks to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, we now know the reason for their absence. Apparently, The Bar have been working all of WWE's house shows, but have been kept off of TV because they don't have plans for them at the moment. Meltzer didn't suggest when we'll see Sheamus and Cesaro on SmackDown Live, but fans want to know what is going on. Sadly, it seems to be a problem at the moment that a fair few tag teams haven't gotten any plans. But now that Money in the Bank has passed, maybe we'll see more action in the weeks to come. Fuck you, WWE. Really. I mean, the tag team division on SmackDown Live could be a great division. Yet you got no plans for Sheamus and Cesaro. You can't find any work for Sheamus and Cesaro on SmackDown Live. You mean to tell me you can't give me either one of those guys in a singles match on SmackDown Live? They are both singles wrestlers. Outside of what they have done with The Bar, which has been great, they are singles wrestlers. You can't feature any one of those guys in a spot on SmackDown Live. And we trust this company to do better moving forward. I, as a fan, am embarrassed. I have no words. I have absolutely no fucking words whatsoever for this company. Zero. And to be honest with you, I have 0 words left in this podcast. I'm done. I'm spent. It's 94 fucking degrees outside. I'm sweating my balls off. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta get in the shower. I'm tired of fucking talking about the illogical bullshit that this company is to everybody. I'm done for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Support the podcast, whether it's through Harry's, Audible, BarbershopWindow.com, and Patreon. Please support the podcast in any way that you can. Remember, I will be in Pittsburgh. Extreme Rules weekend. And we're going to have a good time with a live off-the-script preview and predictions special there from Buford's Kitchen and Terrace on 5th. So that's going to be a great time, man. Look out for that and look out for all the information coming for that. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you all hopefully on Sunday. I might not upload a video on Sunday because I am being called to the House of Glory School. They are giving me my own show via House of Glory, and it's going to be fucking awesome, and we're going to be setting that up on Sunday. So if you don't see me, that's the reason for my absence, and I'll be right back here on Monday with a part 3. So I'll keep you guys updated on Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. But more than likely, I'll be in Brooklyn at the House of Glory Wrestling Academy doing some work there, filming some stuff for my new upcoming show with House of Glory. Thanks to Jason and my entire House of Glory family for giving me an opportunity to succeed even more so over there. I love everybody over there. I can't wait to get back to work with high intensity. Sammy Callahan and everybody else is going to be there. That motherfucker, I'm going to get my revenge on that motherfucker. Believe me, it's coming one way or another. It's going to be great. We just signed Austin Aries. We got a great women's tag team match. We got a fucking main event that you do not want to miss, man. I already got notes upon notes ready for myself I'm getting myself prepared, man. I'm bringing my best Moro on August 17th at House of Glory High Intensity 7, man. Thank you guys so much. I will see you on Sunday, possibly, if not Monday, for part 3 of Off the Script. Enjoy your Saturdays, and I will see you all on part 3.